Hello, folks. Sorry I'm late. I had a very, very important call that I could not pass up. But I am here now, 5 minutes late. I appreciate you guys for being here with me. We have a lot to talk about today. UTSA takes on Rice at the weekend. There's loads to get into. There's a lot of talk on Twitter. There's a lot of I have a lot of opinions on some of what we've seen from Coach Traylor in his press conferences. I want to make sure I am good or I get my thoughts out on those. Okay, my audio's good, so everybody should be able to hear me. So yeah, I want to jump right into it, man, because and get your comments in as you can. But I want to talk. The first thing I want to address in general, before I get into all the Rice breakdown and stuff like that, um, the first thing I want to talk about is Coach Traylor's comments on Monday in regards to the starting quarterback on McCown and his offensive coordinator Justin Burke. Shout out to Greg Luca and JJ Perez for asking some of those tough questions. Those are questions that the entire fan base wanted asked, and they wouldn't ask those questions, right? And I think Coach Traylor's response was relatively snappy at those, and you can understand that he's frustrated. His team's not winning, is not looking very good right now, and people are coming for his quarterback and coming for his offensive coordinator. So that's understandable. So anyway, for those of you who have not seen it, you can go check out my Twitter. I posted a 50-something second clip of those questions being asked sort of right after each other, and Coach Traylor sort of responds to those. So anyway, so his response basically was there's no way in hell that he's even thought about benching on McCown. And that will not, he said, that will not happen. There's no chance. And he just kind of went on to vehemently deny any thoughts of benching his starting quarterback. And I'm going to separate the two, right? So this one, I'm going to talk about the quarterback and the quarterback only here. So I actually don't think we should. I don't think Owen McCown should be benched. I know there are some folks out there who feel that way, and I understand that. I don't think he should be benched right now. In fact, I don't know how close we are to an actual benching. Other than me just being frustrated with some of the things he's done and some of the weak points that he has. But he's still out there running like there's a lot more to quarterback than just throwing, the deep ball or being super accurate, in every single situation. That's obviously a huge component of that position. But at the end of the day, like there's something to running an offense. There's something to getting the quick game off the way he gets the quick game off. There's some to pulling the ball, making runs on third down to extend drives and things like that. So there's other things, and there's a leadership component that is kind of infectious throughout the team, and people want to play for you. They want to protect you. Talking about linemen, and the receivers want to catch a ball from him. All those things matter when you talk about a quarterback. So I don't actually think that he should be benched, although I understand why people are calling for that. My biggest issue, my only issue with Coach Traylor's comments in relation to the quarterback is it comes off as very stubborn, which I think a bit of stubbornness as a coach is a good thing, actually, because if you just move at every situation, the crowd or the fans or supporters want you to move, then are you really a good coach? Because you're going to be letting the folks from the stands coach your football team, and that can't happen. So in that regard, I'm okay with, him sort of biting back and backing his quarterback. My biggest issue with it, though, is him talking about no chance, that'll never happen, X, Y, and Z. My biggest piece on that is, what message are you sending to Brandon Tennyson, Lugo, the quarterback we got from Lugo, the quarterback we got from BYU, Max Gerlich. Like, what message does it send to those guys, right? what message does that send to prospective quarterbacks that are looking at UTSA and UTSA are recruiting? Like like who's going to want to be on the roster, at the quarterback position with McCown at quarterback, and you have a coach who is so connected with their families are so connected that even if the guy doesn't play well, you know, it appears that he's still going to start because this coach has said, "I'm sticking. This is my guy," and there's pretty much nothing that can happen to where. I mean, he didn't say that. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but as of right now, he's the one who said there's no chance, there's no way in hell that he's thinking about benching his quarterback today, right now. So I just don't think that sends a good message. I know there are people that are around those particular players who are frustrated at those comments. And sometimes a coach can bring, like, here's the thing, like, a lot of the times whenever people are coming at the team and frustrated with the team, the coaches generally they have a weird balance that they try to walk through, right? Half of that balance is, you know what, it's us against the world because nobody believes in us right now. The fans don't believe in us, blah blah blah, right? So you have a lot of this talk of like, I'm gonna be super defensive at every sort of thing the media says because the media is also bad or also whatever. So you have them trying to do that, but then also you kind of have they have to also walk the line of like, well, I don't want to upset the fans because we need them to come out there and support, right? So you hear him at the end of these press conferences say like, you know what, it's great the fans are upset. I don't blame them. You know, he had the whole bit about like if they stop caring, then that's a problem. So it's just a sort of bizarre type of thing, but like I just don't think you go and you basically tell every prospective quarterback that there's really no chance at unseating this guy here, even if his play suffers. That to me is an issue. Um, just my general thoughts on his play. I mean, look, why I get frustrated. Like I said, I haven't called for him being benched, but yes, it is obvious that he doesn't throw. He has not been accurate historically throwing the deep ball. There's a lot of folks who have been coming to me and saying like, "Hey, well, I think he looks hurt because he would have thrown. He threw the deep balls great last year." I'm like, "Go! Did you go back and look at the numbers? It doesn't suggest that that's just not true." And this is not me going at the kid. It's just talking about a weak point of his game. He throws the shorts really well. There's a skill with that as well. Like not everybody can do that. Like I want to be very clear. Just because I highlight him not being great beyond 10 yards, especially beyond 20 yards, those 9 and under throws are not easy either, right? That they are very quick. Um, they're very quick developing, and they have there's a lot of risk in those as well. So like, I am not throwing shade by saying he's not really good throwing downfield, but you can see the limitations. They're very clear, and it holds us back offensively in some ways. But I also don't think his offensive coordinator helps him out. So I think that's part of the issue as well. But yeah, I just didn't like Traylor's comments because what does that do for the people on your team in that locker room? Like I said, I know people who didn't like those comments that are around that situation. Some folks who aren't even at UTSA who are around the situation that may be that are being recruited by UTSA. So, yeah, that's a bizarre thing to say. As far as his offensive coordinator, I mean, look, he's not going to. Let's be honest here. He's not going to come to a media press conference, throw his quarterback under the bus, and then, oh, by the way, throw his offensive coordinator under the bus. To me, like, I almost ignored him vehemently denying, like, I'm never thinking about, there's no chance I'm changing my offensive coordinator. Like, I believe that. But to me, what was more impactful was his comments around, he talked about he didn't like the fact that we did a screenplay on one of those 3rd and 6. On that there was a key 3rd and 6. I think sometime in the second half we did a screenplay. I remember getting upset about it on the watch along. He talked about him not liking that. He talked about, I thought we should have ran the ball more. He talked about telling, or basically disagreeing with what his coordinator called. He gave us multiple scenarios where he disagreed with the coordinator's call. And to me, that was his way of scolding his coordinator publicly, versus like undressing him, publicly. He's never going to do that. So to me, I think if you rewatch that press conference back, like I actually think there was a bit of him holding his offensive coordinator accountable there. You just kind of have to like pick through, like what you expect him to say. Like I thought that was fairly significant, him saying that. Y'all know how I feel about the OC. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to go in on him. I don't think he's very good. I've been thinking he's been bad for 3 seasons. I mean, for those of you who remember when I had Frank Harris on my show, I asked him straight up about his offensive coordinator. And so I'm basically saying I have not been a fan of that play caller since he first started. Was not a fan of him last year, and I'm surely not a fan of him this year. It is what it is. I'll leave that part there. But yeah, I just think I think some of that stuff is tough. There's a couple of other things I want to talk about as well in regards to that. He mentioned we're playing well. UTSA is playing well. He mentioned his quarterback played well and all these things. And in my opinion, I'm like, yeah, that's not what I'm seeing. It's just not. It's not what I'm seeing. And I know he was like, hey, well, we watched the film and all this stuff. Trust me, can somebody get me the end zone shots? They won't give those out, of course not. But I wish I had the end zone shots. I'm going off. I have to go off TV because I have to. But they've been restrictive on some of the stuff the players can like take on their own and watch. I know I wouldn't be able to get the end zone shots, but I would love to get the end zone shots just so I can see more of what they're talking about. Like, I watched some of this stuff and I'm looking at some of from what I can see from the television shot. I'm looking at some of the reads. I'm looking at some of the mistakes, and they are clear. They're clear, and it's not about like what's funny about some of this is some of the comments whenever when people throw jabs at people, it's like, oh, well, if for someone to say this, they've never been a coach before. Okay. What does that mean? Like, what is that? Oh, I've played football. I know football. I can tell you X, Y, and Z play like the back of my hand, just like a lot of these people can. I can look and tell you when a pass was bad, or I can look and tell you when a read was off. I can look and tell you when a coverage was blown. It's this thing of like UTSA is playing well. That's a myth. That's a myth. That's just not true. These aren't very good teams Temple's not going to go make a huge run at the conference title. Colorado State, I don't even know what they did in their last game, but that's not a very good team either. And Rice, looking into Rice, they're a lot like Temple and Colorado State. These are winnable games for us, but I don't know what's funny is I've gotten so much of high expectations that UTSA, that it's hard for me to like project how UTSA is going to match up with these guys, because I look at them and I'm like, they got some talent. They have they have a few good standout players. But overall, I look at UTSA's roster and I'm like, you know what? We should handle them. Well, I have to check myself on that now because UTSA just hasn't handled these people very well. And the Rice game is going to be another tricky one. I'm not going to lie. Their defense can be very stingy. I think their defense can do some things that's going to disrupt us. Trust me, they play cover one just like these other groups, these other two teams have. It's going to give us problems. They do it well. They have some athletes on their defense. They have some good linebackers. They have a couple guys on the line that stick out. They have a couple people in the second. They're all right. They're all right. They're not going to be a team that's going to like challenge for anything meaningful, but they're all right. They're a formidable squad. Offensively, they're going to be able to give us some issues. But it's another one of those things where it's like, if UTSA continues to play at the level that they've been playing on, I don't know if we'll win. I don't know if we'll beat Rice. I mean, they're 3-3. We're not 3-3 yet. Um, so yeah, let me jump into some of y'all's comments because I have another couple of things I want to talk about too. Actually, I want to get into this too. I want to get into this first. I'm sorry, I'm gonna jump into the comments after this. Here we go again with the one of the things I've seen a lot on Twitter that I have not commented on, but I will address it here. The negativity thing about like folks being sensitive because people are calling out issues that we see. It's like, so what do you do? Like, I'm not going to watch football delusional. I'm already biased for UTSA as it is. I'm not going to be delusional about something that's going on. Like, oh, let's be positive about, us being converting third downs at a 31% rate, I think. Yeah, I'm going to be how explain to me how to be positive about that. It's not a positive thing. Explain to me how we're supposed to be positive about in back-to-back games we have 9 penalties that are costly, that have been costly, that have hurt us in key moments. That's 18 penalties over the last 2 games. Can't happen. Especially when you're not good enough to overcome those. I don't know how to spin that positively either, you know? So I don't know. There's a lot of people. I seen the old dude, like what's his name? Vinny something. Listen, nice guy. I've met him before. His comment about like third grade level stuff and all of this. Guys, don't people always get themselves in trouble when they try to police the way other people fan. You can't tell someone how to support their team. If you don't like it, block them, unfollow them, mute them. There you go. It's that simple. Anyway, let me get into the comments. That crap annoys me. It just annoys me. And I see some not these things particular. I don't know if any of these things. There's a guy or two that's continuously subtweeting me, and I'm like, I'm not gonna give you the time of day. Like, you can really just at me if you really want if you want to talk about it or whatever. But like, yeah, bro, I'm not changing. I'm not changing up anything. Like, I'm gonna call it how I see it, bro. Trust me. Whenever we're winning and we're doing good, I'm the main dude on this stream yelling in happiness. Just go watch the streams. It's insane. Anyway, shout out to Anthony Birds Up. It's homecoming weekend. Eric says, what do you think about the responses from Traylor in regards to the play calling, McCown, and his expectations in close battles with most of these games? So I already answered the first 2 questions with the 2 topics. But if you have any more questions, Eric, let me know on those pieces. In terms of his expectations to be in close battles with most of these games, I think that he is come to a realization that we don't have Frank Harris walking through that door or walking out to the field anymore. We don't have Joshua Cephas walking out in that field anymore. We don't have Zachary Franklin walking out there. Unfortunately, we don't have Decorian Clark. Rashad Wisdom's not suiting up anymore. Jamal Liggins not suiting up anymore. Trey Moore's not suiting up anymore. Cam Alexander ain't suiting up anymore. Tariq Woolen ain't, you know what I'm saying? He's realizing that we don't have that right now. Zay Frazier, we don't have those types of playmakers and those guys anymore. So he's probably being realistic and looking at his roster and where his team has to go. And he's looking at these other teams and he's seeing guys get better. He's seeing UNT and what they're doing. They look awesome right now. He's seeing what South Florida's doing. He's seeing what the Tulanes are bringing to the table. He's seeing what's out there. He's looking at the competition and he's looking at his team and he's worried. That's all that is. And that's just our reality. So it's going to be close. We're going to have close games. I think we're up for another close game this weekend, but we got to execute. And what can't continue to happen is every time a team makes an adjustment in the second half, we cannot continue to get left behind when that happens. That's a problem. It's a problem. Teams find a way to get at us in the second half of games. It's a really big issue. Eric says, what is the best scenario outcome for this game to have some light hope for the rest of the season? A blowout. It's that simple. A blowout. Um, I want to listen. I'd like to see us, you know, establish the run game. Hopefully, we can get AJ Wilson freed up on some of the balls that deep downfield. Um, I think defensively, I would love to see our corners attack the ball. I think our corners are going to make or break our defense. I think overall, I think people are going to continue to try to get at them. They've actually gotten better over the last couple of games. I really do believe that, and trust me, I watched that position pretty closely. They've gotten better, still not where they want to be, I'm sure, but I think they've gotten better. I think they've shown some improvement. Even the safeties in coverage, I think the secondary has gotten better. Although people are going to that one, I understand. I mean, me being a corner in college, like I understand that there's no mercy from the fan base on those. But I understand, like just from playing ball and playing that position in particular, I can see improvement in what in what they're doing, and you can almost see what they're focusing on. So I can see the wheels starting to turn for those guys. But yeah, I mean, a blowout is the best particular outcome. But I just want to see us play solid football in all three phases. Our special teams has been crap this year. They've had some high points. Like the thing about special teams is you want it to be consistent, right? And they're not consistent. They've had, if you just go back through each game we've had, which game didn't special teams play a big role in some regard? One of the touchdowns this past week, what was it? A freaking because one of those it was set up because it was a poor punt. I think about A&M. We get what broke that game open. That dude returned the punt return. What was it? The game after that against Texas State, we couldn't do anything on special teams in terms of kicking coverage. So I just want consistency. Anthony says, what changes, if any, do we see from the OC this weekend? Get tight ends more involved, eliminate the East-West screen passing game, finally some wishbone with David Amador, perhaps. Yeah, so you won't see big overhauls like that. I mean, I think the East and West screen passing game is always going to be there. That's an extension of our run game, and that's a staple in the offense. So that's not going away. I do think we do it a little bit too much because we're. I mean, what's funny? I was finna say the word predictable. One of the things that Coach Traylor said, which I thought was a big shot at his offensive coordinator, which is why I said his offensive coordinator comments didn't bother me as much from JJ's question. But if you listen to the beginning of the interview, he really went at the coordinator because what did he say? He said, I felt like we were too predictable in some situations. So, yeah, I mean, the coordinator has to be thinking about that because Traylor is seeing some of the same things we're seeing, and he is telling us he sees it, which I think is a good thing. And yeah, I think I just think what I expect him to do differently is we're going to see some deep shots earlier in the game. I think we'll see deep shots earlier in the game. I can almost guarantee that. We're predictable because we don't do that. Number one, we're not very effective at it, but we don't even try. When we try, it's not even, the attempts aren't good, but he's probably going to try to get some of those out early. And even if you don't complete them, try to prevent this team from having their safeties line up as shallow as they were last week. I mean, that's a problem because that puts extra people in the box. You need to soften some of that up so your run game can get going. And if they don't feel like they have to be at 12 and 15 because they're worried about a receiver getting loose on them, then that just makes them even more prepared for when Robert Henry and Will Henderson get the ball. And it makes them they'll trigger slower on screen plays if there is a deep threat. But teams aren't worried about that at all with us. Like I said, you was looking at Temple safety. The dude was at 8 yards sometimes, bro. So yeah. Is our triangle of toughness still applicable at this point, or has it lost its value based off of recent production on the field? I don't think that's a culture thing. It's a culture pillar type deal. That should never lose its value. But what did I say before? Like, we don't have anyone carrying that torch as a really big vocal leader for the team as a player. So Coach Traylor can't do everything himself. So you just need that thing to be top of mind for everybody, and just need to hear that more and more and more. And we're just not hearing it the way we used to. Let's see where we at. Let's see. Trailer saying no way in hell about McCown sitting. I know Tennyson had the dime against A&M, but do you think it could? Do you think it could be maybe he also isn't good, or Trailer doesn't want to change at that spot? I think more it's I don't know if he's good or not. I mean, I can't sit up here and say that. I mean, listen, for the one drive we seen him against, or the limited amount of time we seen him against Texas A&M, I thought he looked good. I think that dime against A&M is the best single pass that we've had all year. And I'm not saying that as a slight to McCown. It's just the truth. That was a dime. I even think his pass, he had a 14-yard over to the right side near the sideline. I even thought that was one of the better passes we've seen this year. McCown's made some good ones too on the run, especially this season. Let's be very clear about that. But I don't know if it's like, here's the thing. Tennyson has no experience. So like we like, I mean, I'm sure Traylor has no idea how good he'd actually be if he played him. But that uncertainty is probably why he's like, there's no way in hell I'm changing McCown, because I don't want to like go into a position where we're in the unknown. And what if Tennyson, I mean, and that's the kind of tricky part, right? What if Tennyson could go out there and be great, phenomenal, and be a world beater? But he could go out there and stick up the joint. That's a possibility also. I just don't think Traylor's at a point to where he feels like he has to pull a lever like that. But I also think he's so committed to the McCowns. There's a lot of glue between them. And if you just knew a lot of what goes on behind the scenes with that, and a lot of it's really not even that big of a secret, but it's not my story to tell, and I haven't talked to these people directly. So I don't like to spread rumors where I don't know. The family stuff is a little different. A little different. I don't feel comfortable sharing all the stuff I know about that situation, but he's committed to McCown, and I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is at this point, right? Will this game be the deciding factor on if our team has the grit to overcome the poor play, or do we simply continue to digress? I feel as if we lost. If we lose Saturday, then our bold expectation is out the window. I think you're right. If we lose Saturday and go 2-4, mind you, we started 2-4 last year. But yeah, I can't see us beat North Texas at North Texas. Not the way that team's playing. They can't give up a lot of points though, North Texas. I've watched a little bit of them. That defense can be a little shaky, but they're rolling, man. I don't fancy us against that team, if I'm being honest. They score a lot of points, and that's going to be tough. Yeah, and Tulane, I don't fancy it. Oh, Jesus. North Texas, Tulane, South Florida, all back to back to back. Yeah, that's not good, y'all. I mean, if we lose to Rice, we very well could be walking into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-game losing streak, because, yeah, if we don't beat Rice, we're not going bowling. Because if we lost to Rice, that would also signal where we at as a football team. It'll signal that we're not. I've already told you, I just don't think we're very good. And like this idea that, we're actually playing well. Come on, bro. Respectfully. Whenever they say stuff like that, I'm just like, I feel like, please don't challenge my intelligence as a I don't know. it's these things where it's like, and like I said, I got a lot of friends who are coaches, players, all that type of stuff that you know, I spend all my days talking football, watching NFL stuff or NFL film because you can actually get the access to their film. Watching what I can from UTSA and all these types of things, and then like you hear some of the responses about like, oh, like we're actually doing well. I'm just like, okay. Did I even answer your question? Yeah, they're probably out the window if we lose to Rice. Pogo says, I despise the way Traylor tries to condition everyone for a loss by elevating the opponent to seem as if they're better than they are. But in reality, he's saying, don't expect a win. I'm cynical right now. You know what? So I get where you're coming from, Pogo. Shout out to Pogos. He's a member. He's been a member for a while. He's one of. I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but like, it really means a lot that he's still a member. Um, and he's just supporting the channel. So y'all don't know how big those things are for me. But anyway, what I'll say to this is like, I don't think he's conditioning people for a loss, but I think he is trying to take. I think he's doing some of this stuff to take the pressure off his team and off of him a little bit because, like I said, he realized I mean, I'm sure he's real with himself about where his team is at. Of course he is. And he realizes that we're not because of all those guys I named earlier, we're not just walking in and knowing that we're going to thump teams like this anymore. You know? And he also understands too that we've been in the conference with these guys for a while. They know him. They know what he's trying to do. They know his teams. They know our tendencies. They know all of that. They know our players very well. You know? I mean, we've been the target for a while because we won at Conference USA, and then we came over to the American with a target on our backs because our first campaign in the American, we went 7-1 in conference. So UTSA has been hunted by everybody, and I think he understands that, and it catches up to you. So I think I don't think he's conditioning everybody for a loss because I don't think he thinks like that. He's not the kind of guy that thinks like that. You can see he's pissed off by the way he's responding and talking and snapping back at some of the questions that are being asked to him. But first off, I like that. But secondly, I just think he's trying to lessen the pressure that they're under. Lots of fighting among UTSA fans. What a divisive season to say the least. Buckle up, it might get even uglier from what it looks like. It's silly to me because it wouldn't be as much fighting if people weren't trying to tell other people how to fan. That's what the fighting is about. People are mad about negativity and all of that. Like, it's okay to have a difference of an opinion. That's what it is. It's okay if you were on the side of, hey, I don't think McCown's the guy. It's also okay if you're on the side of, hey, I think he is the guy. It's okay. It's okay. Like, I think fans sometimes take some of this stuff personal. And then you got the people who feel like they're in a circle, and then they like to say, like, oh, I'm over here with I'm doing this, and like, you guys really don't know what you're talking about because you don't know the situations. It's like, I mean, a lot of this stuff isn't hard to. I mean, I don't know. Don't get me started on some of that, but like, it shouldn't be as divisive as it is. We all want the same thing. We all want UTSA to win. We all want more people to be involved. We all want UTSA to get more money. We all want success for Coach Traylor, like all of that. But like, people are going to be ticked off at whenever we can. If I'm sitting here on a freaking live chat, I mean, not even me, you can take me out of it, but just y'all in the chat. Y'all in the chat throughout my live chat were calling the next plays sometimes. Like whenever you get that predictable and things like that, of course, people are going to be pissed off about it. So yeah, the divisive stuff is just people who like don't take a step back and realize like what's actually happening, and there are people who just aren't okay with agreeing to disagree. Just it's okay. It's okay. Trust me. I've talked to a lot of you guys in DMs. There's a lot of people who watch the show who never comment, but they'll send me DMs. I talk to a lot of people about this stuff all the time. And I have disagreed with some of you, some people, in my DMs that don't come on the show, or some people who just follow my Twitter. We disagree, but it's all love. It's cool. We're just talking. We're talking sports at the end of the day. Even some of these Texas State people that can't stand us will DM, and they'll even. What's funny is some of the Texas State folks will DM, and like it almost shows that they kind of. It's not like they're not fans of UTSA, of course, but like they're sympathetic to the situation genuinely, and it's kind of funny. But yeah, like we should be able to agree to disagree. That's all I'm saying, bro. Everyone agrees the offense is not performing. That's true. I don't think anybody's minting words on that other than some folks saying we're playing well. Has anyone heard from Noah Lugo, the BYU quarterback transfer? Is he redshirting? Did he transfer? I don't. I know he has not transferred. I can't tell you how I know that, but let me see. Let me check something. Yeah, he hasn't transferred. Yeah, I know for a fact he has not transferred. I actually don't know his situation. Let me get back to you. I know some of those folks around him. So yeah. You know who I've been talking to this week, surprisingly? Old safeties coach from UTSA, Coach Perry Eliano. He reached out. It's good to talk to some of the old coaches. But the funniest thing, one of the funny things, or not even funny things, but it's kind of surprising because I don't know if y'all followed his career, but Ohio has treated him well. Cincinnati, he coached Sauce Gardner at Cincinnati. He went on to Ohio State and coached some big time guys there. But what was funny was, and this is a nod to everybody in San Antonio, but he said, I miss San Antonio. I miss the city. Like I miss what's the name? It was interesting that he said that. Kevin says everyone agrees the offense is awful. What I can't figure out is the OC really that bad? Or is the quarterback not able to execute what the OC really wants to run? Maybe both. I think it's probably a little bit of both. That's a big one. Shout out to Anthony. We got a new member. Shout out to Anthony, man. Y'all don't know how much this member stuff helps out the show. I spend a lot of time to get prepared for these things and do these things. And shoot, I was on live for 4 hours this weekend watching the game with you guys on here. So y'all being members and doing stuff like that, man, I really, 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 really appreciate it. Y'all make it worth it when y'all do those types of things. Shout out to you. Shout out to Anthony. But Kevin says everyone agrees the show, the offense is awful. Yeah, no. So I actually think it's both here. I think the offense is a problem, but this is where I actually think it's more on the OC. I'll give McCown this. He, for the most part, executes what he's asked pretty well. But the way things are positioned is like a good coach is supposed to hide his players' weaknesses. And our offensive coordinator does not do that very well, which is why McCown is getting a lot of flack. Like his weaknesses were clear last year, but guess what? We were just better last year, or we started getting on the roll at the end of last year, and things were just better. But like you can kind of see when he's good at quarterback. He's I think there's some things we did last year that we're just not doing this year. We have not attacked the middle of the field as much as I'm used to. And that also could be the way defenses are defending us. I think some of that definitely has to do with it. But yeah, we just got to be better overall. ATO Flash. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Make sure, yes, everybody who's here, please like the video. Like the video. It costs you nothing to do that. That helps out the show. It helps people. It helps people. Other people come and we can grow the community and all that cool stuff, man. With the way the season is going, how impactful do you see this being from a recruitment perspective? Should we hunker down and prepare for a couple of substandard seasons? We're definitely losing recruits. That's I know that for a fact because some of them have reached out to me, or at least their fathers have. Yeah, there are definitely some recruits who are turning the other cheek. I know that I know that for a fact. Even some guys who UTSA have offered. I was told by a representative of one of the recruits that that UTSA has offered, and basically say, yeah, he marked them off their list. After what game was that? It wasn't Texas State. I actually think he marked us off the list after a win. Yeah, yeah, Colorado State. Did not like what he seen of that game. So I know that's definitely happened. I know that's definitely happened or happening. We're gonna probably see a lot if the season continues to go the way it is now. You're gonna see a lot of guys exit. You're probably gonna have a brand new quarterbacking room because why would anybody want to play if that's why would anybody want to play if that is the if your head coach? Why would anybody want to play quarterback if that's the message that your head coach sends publicly? Like, of course. So yeah, I mean, it's not gonna go well, man. If things don't change, members get priority whenever I see it. Shout out to Anthony. He says, happy to support me and my wife Monica. I always look forward to the podcast. Everyone like and subscribe. Just alumni supporting other fellow runners. Shout out to Anthony, man. Really, really appreciate it again, dude. Really, really appreciate it. That's huge. Eric says, did you read the report from Yahoo about Traylor saying what he's? I was hoping somebody asked me about this, saying why he's in the conversation for Arkansas or any big job, given that he's in his third year decline. Also mentioned his poor interview with A&M. Yeah, so I definitely heard that he interviewed poor A&M, but like that's not even nothing to. I remember whenever I heard that, and that's not even nothing to report because how could you know? You know, but it's interesting that somebody else actually like has reported that. That's well, I don't know if it's not funny, of course, but it's interesting that like I was told that, and I was just like, yeah, what am I going to do with that information? I don't want him to take the job. I don't want him to like. I want him to stay at UTSA. So anyway, but yeah, on that report, I mean, listen, that guy. So I seen a lot of people were upset about that post, and it did come off as pretty harsh. Some of it was probably true. And I think that is the interesting piece. Like it upset some folks because some of it is probably true. Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, he is in the 3-year decline. I mean, that's the reality of the situation. Since we've gotten to the AAC, we had the one great year. Then obviously last year is kind of a wash. But you respect last year because we were sort of retooling and rebuilding. This season, I don't know if you get a pass for this season. In fact, you don't get a pass for this season considering how good your quarterback played. I mean, you know, there was we were a dark horse to win this conference this year. That's just not happening, you know? So yeah, I mean, I saw that report. I do think that guy was being a bit harsh on Traylor. It's obviously somebody who isn't watching UTSA week in and week out. His dismissiveness and some of the things he wrote just seemed like he was just bitter at the whole situation. I think there's also, I mean, I don't want to, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people reference me as the UTSA guy. So, you know, Actually, I'll just leave it there. Yeah, it was an interesting piece. I definitely read it. It's Rab says I think UTSA can beat UNT only because UNT might choke. It might choke it. UNT will care too much. Also UTSA plays better when there's nothing to play for. It's a weak mindset that this UTSA team has established. It's Rab and this weak mindset point. I mean, look, maybe so, maybe so. I mean, um, maybe they went. Maybe that comes out this game. That'd be great. But here's the thing: UNT won't blow us away. We'll play up to the like. That's the thing. We play to everybody's level. Like we played A&M. Okay, I mean, you like to see us do a little better, but we were competitive. I guess. We were very competitive with Texas State. Like every single game we've been in, we've been competitive. But we're not punching on nobody. We're not establishing ourselves as dominant, and that's what separates the good and the bad teams. It's just that simple. One second, I have to text the wife. Let's see. What do we got here? Are you doing another watch along or going to the game? I'm not going to be able to make it to the game. Yeah, that late game does not work for my schedule going out there. The watch alongs are tough. That last one was tough. What I might do is I might do the second half, depending on how the game is going. I might do the second half, but I'm not doing another 4 hours unless, unless I get paid. That's tough, yo. Like 4 hours is hard. Like I didn't go to the restroom. Like, yeah, I don't envy the guys who are like broadcasting and have to talk throughout the whole game. Don't envy that. I mean, well, they're getting paid good money. But I might do the second half. We'll see. Frank says, I feel that to its rivalry aside, I think USF will beat UNT by 2 scores. UNT has not faced a defense nearly as good as USF's. Yeah, I mean, of course not, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We're not on the caliber. We're not on the level of either of those teams right now. I'm just worried about Rice, to be real. I'm glad you're doing a watch along for some of the away games. Yeah, I mean, have I done a watch along for all of them? Yeah. How many away games have we had? I'm losing my mind. What is this? We've had. Yeah, I've done the away games. I like to do that. It's just 4 hours is tough. I might do the second half though. I'm a big fan, but it hurts on what's going on. Me too, bro. It hurts. It hurts. It's unfortunate. Yeah, it sucks. Happy to support. Shout out to Anthony again. Anthony comes in with another one. He says, speaking of a new potential quarterback room next season, due to portal transfer issues, we see, unfortunately, a new tight end room possible. Oh, that would suck. But I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, that would suck so bad. I wouldn't be surprised. We got some really good talent at the tight end position. You could see some of those guys start to walk. But like quarterback, I'm going to just be honest with you, bro. We're not going to get anything good in the transfer portal from a quarterback standpoint unless we get a guy who failed at one of the bigger schools and he's coming to us with no money. We don't have money to go get and attract a big quarterback. And based on the way Traylor is talking about McCown, why would a big quarterback want to come to a good quarterback want to come to us anyway? They're getting a discount because they don't have to pay McCown much of anything. Like you got a quarterback on a bargain, I mean, just weird situation. Last one, we got to lose versus Rice so we can win. It's Rab. I'm done. It's Rab is always funny, man. Shout out to It's Rab. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap there. Catch me up on Twitter. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. Be on the lookout on the Twitter for a announcement on the watch along at the weekend. I am going to give y'all something on Twitter when I'm going to go live because I'll probably do the second half of the game. Sebastian, I talked about it at the very beginning, so just rewind back. you'll be able to get my comments and thoughts on the McCown and the OC situation and what Traylor said. So thanks for joining. Better late than never, my brother. Anyway, see y'all later. Peace.